We actually got the first official trailer for the Dark Phoenix movie. Why is the internet so pissed about this? Well, we're gonna break it all down. This is the Nerdy News Rundown. Let's get you filled in. Hey there, welcome back to your regularly scheduled news program. Sorry I was out of town, things were a little bit wonky, but thanks to everybody that checked out the live streams I did while I was out of town. I think we had some fun together. It was really cool. So yes, the Dark Phoenix trailer was officially released last night on The Late Show with James Corden, and the internet reacted in a way that honestly really surprised me. A lot of people not only not liking the trailer, but talking a bunch of shit on the X-Men movies in general, and just saying like, hey, give it back to Marvel already. Now, we're going to break all of that down, and I'll give you my thoughts about the trailer in just a second. But first, let's break down the actual trailer, talk about what was in it. So the trailer starts out with a creepy young Jean Grey being taken to Xavier's school. She's saying, "You think you can fix me?" The young Charles Xavier is telling her, "You are not broken." We then get some shots of Charles, and he's being questioned by Mystique about what exactly did he do to Jean Grey. And yes, I will admit that this is very similar to the plot of X3, The Last Stand. Very similar vibes going on here. This is a movie thing, not a comic book thing, but Charles Xavier puts up all of these blocks or walls in Jean Grey's mind, and they start to deteriorate, and the Phoenix Force starts to take her over. She again turns to Magneto, going over there saying she's looking for answers. Magneto says, "You're basically looking for permission." There is then a standoff between Jean Grey and Scott Summers and the original X-Men team. It goes very badly, but that's like the whole thing, right? They're saying that she's still our friend, she's possessed, so it's really a story of a friend that is possessed, and all these people that care about her have to fight against her. And it looks like in the film it will sort of dissolve back into Charles Xavier versus Magneto. Magneto, of course, leveraging Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force to get his outcome, which would be the elimination of humankind. Now, in all likelihood, the Phoenix Force will get out of control. They'll have to stop her. Magneto will probably have to work with the X-Men, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And yeah, it's a lot like X3. I get it, internet. I understand why you're upset. But really, the film looks pretty dope. I mean, all of the characters have been in this role for a long time. Their performances look to be very good in the film. The mise-en-scène is there. The visual effects, which we don't get a lot of, look pumped up quite a bit. They delayed this movie to do reshoots to really nail down the story and to get these effects looking incredible. And I think in general, this movie looks pretty good. I'm legitimately excited to go check this out. So why are people so upset at this trailer, and why did it become an MCU versus X-Men movies fight on Twitter last night? Well, I think in general, there's been a fall off in quality when it comes to the X-Men movies. I mean, minus Logan, a lot of these movies have deteriorated into just, basic plots, the same kind of ideas being retreaded. I mean, we're getting the same versions of characters that we had way in the past, so they've sort of self-rebooted. And look, there's plenty of things you can criticize the X-Men movies over. I mean, their continuity is very sloppy. They've had some clear misses, some reboots that weren't even really reboots, but they've also had a lot of gems. And I think it's totally unfair for people to just say that all of the X-Men movies sucked and that they can't wait for them to be over and for us to have the new MCU versions of these characters. And besides that, honestly, the X-Men films paved the way for a lot of the comic book movies that we have today. Kevin Feige worked on an assistant and a producer on a lot of these films, so he wouldn't even have the knowledge base that he has, which is a big factor in why the MCU is so successful, if he had not learned from the X-Men movies. And the X-Men movies, really, they set the stage for the new modern era of comic book films. That first movie was very successful, X2 as well, and on and on and on. In general, there have been a lot of passionate people that have worked on these movies, whether they are the actors, whether they are producers, whether they are writers. There's been a lot of love that went into these films, and I just think it's crazy that all of a sudden we're going to say, forget the Dark Phoenix movie, let's just move on, and all of these movies are terrible. Now, having said that, I do think it's pretty weird that the timing around this film is an end cap to what we got with all of those characters, the Fox X-Men films. This is the finale, and I really feel like they've moved it up to February to kind of, put some space between it and the Disney deal. In fact, a lot of people thought, are we even going to see this movie if Disney takes the rights back to Fox, they would technically have the ability to delay this film or scrap it completely. And so people were really wondering if that was going to be a thing. Now it looks like we are going to get this movie, and I'm excited to see this final chapter with these characters, and I think it's a really cool way to close it all out, even if the plot is a bit contrived and was used before. So maybe that's where all of this anger is coming from. People just want Kevin Feige and the MCU version of these characters. And there's been a lot of little things that these movies get wrong, and when you start to multiply that and then kind of get less and less in quality as you go on, yeah, I can see there kind of being a backlash for it. But I think it's kind of unreasonable. This trailer looks good to me. And so that is the news out there, guys. The new Dark Phoenix trailer is here. We did a little bit of a breakdown, talked about why people are upset and why I personally think it's totally unfair to just throw so much shade at the X-Men films. But that's my opinion. I want to know what all of you guys think about this. Let me know in the comment section. Did you check out the trailer? Do you think it's dope? Are you agreeing with a lot of people that say the X-Men movies are trash? Where do you stand on that? Whatever you're thinking, let us know in the comment section below. And that's gonna do it for the Thursday show. Holy crap, this week's flying by for me. I hope it's going very well for you. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. And yeah, it's a holiday mug. I still haven't ordered my new Nerdy News Rundown mug, man. I'm fucking up.